session, we will talk about chairing a conference. A good chairperson helps a conference to run smoothly and efficiently. The person who chairs a meeting can sometimes be referred to as the facilitator. The responsibilities of a chairperson include announcing the opening of the conference, making a self-introduction, giving a welcome speech, introducing the conference, telling the rules, introducing the presentations, keeping the allocated time, calling on the participants, and giving a closing speech. Now, let's learn some useful expressions. When you announce the opening of the conference, you can say,
"I'd like to call the conference to order. I'm very pleased, honored, delighted to declare the conference open."
Then you need to introduce yourself.
First of all, I will introduce myself. I am chairman of this conference. This conference is organized by and co-sponsored by foundation and other organizations.
Conventionally, you need to give a welcome speech.
On behalf of I'm very pleased to warmly welcome to attend this great gathering. On behalf of the organizers, we have the honor and privilege to welcome you to. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the conference. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to welcome all members and guests to this special event for what will certainly be an exciting, enjoyable, and educational experience.
And then you may want to introduce a conference.
The goals of this conference are threefold. This conference will focus on the discussion of the various aspects of. The aim of the conference is to.
You also need to tell the rules like this.
There are some basic rules. First, please limit your presentation in 15 minutes. At the end of each presentation, there will be 5 minutes for discussion. At the end of the session, we will have an open discussion on any of the papers presented.
When you introduce a presentation, you can say,
"The first paper this morning will be presented by Dr. Smith, professor at university, and his topic is." The next presentation in this session is on. I would like to ask Dr. Goers to talk about this very important subject.
And you should keep the allocated time. You can remind the speaker like this.
Sorry, the schedule is rather tight. We haven't any time for discussion, so we must go on to the next paper. Dr. Chen, I'm sorry, but we do have to move on. We are running short of time. Excuse me, sir, our time is quite limited, so I'm not willing, but have to ask you to stop here. We may have another chance to discuss about the topic later.
You need to call on the participants to involve.
Are there any questions about Dr. C's talk? As we still have a few minutes left, may I ask if there are any questions and comments? Is there anyone who wishes to add something to Professor Johnson's presentation?
When you come to the end of the conference, you will give a closing speech. First, you need to announce the end of the conference.
We are soon closing this seminar, which has been a great success. We have come to the end of this conference. Now, with great joy and a mind reluctant to part, we get together again to declare that the conference has drawn to a successful close.
Then, you are advised to evaluate the conference.
Let me congratulate you on the achievements of this conference. Please accept my congratulations on a successful conference. I am very encouraged by the success of this conference. This event has demonstrated that
And you can sum up the achievements made in the conference.
in light of the specific objectives of the 3-day conference, I should confess that this is a successful one as far as the presentation of papers took place in covering different topics. All the presentations were very illuminating and informative, and the heated panel discussions were very stimulating and fruitful.
Don't forget to express gratitude to the organizing committee, participants, speakers, all the people involved.
I want to thank everybody who took part in the organization of this event. This conference is a success because of your efforts and participation. Again, I want to thank everyone for making the conference an outstanding success.
At last, you need to express best wishes to the participants.
Thank you. I wish you a pleasant trip home. I wish you all a safe journey back home. And lastly, my friends, see you next year in New York and have a safe trip home.
There are some additional tips for chairing a conference. Meet the speaker beforehand and confirm his information: name, institution, pronunciations, papers to be presented, and honors he intends to be introduced. Orient the speaker to timing procedures. Tell him how much time he is supposed to speak. Start the applause while the speaker is mounting the steps. Thank the speaker before you invite questions for him. Prepare some questions to stimulate discussion if the audience is quiet. Now, let's watch a video clip of a welcome speech.
So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second summer lecture series. I am Dr. Yewon Chun from Office of Intramural Training and Education, and it's my pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Linda Birnbaum. She's the director of National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences of National Institute of Health and the National Toxicology Program, an interagency program that uses the tools of modern toxicology and molecular biology to keep the public safe from the more than 80,000 chemicals registered for use in the United States. A native of New Jersey, Dr. Birnbaum received her master and PhD in microbiology from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. She has served as a federal scientist for nearly 36 years. She started her federal career with 10 years at NIEHS, first as a senior staff fellow, then as a principal investigator and research microbiologist, and finally as a group leader. She then spent 19 years at the Environmental Protection Agency prior to accepting her current appointment in 2009. She is also an adjunct professor at both the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and Duke University. Dr. Birnbaum is the author of more than 800 peer-reviewed publications, book chapters, and reports. Her research focuses on the pharmacokinetic behavior of environmental chemicals, mechanisms of action of toxicants including endocrine disruption, and linking of real-world exposure to health effects. Dr. Birnbaum has received many awards and recognitions. In October 2010, she was elected to the Institute of Medicine of the National Academies, one of the highest honors in the fields of medicine and health. Please join me welcoming Dr. Birnbaum.
In this session, we learned how to chair a conference. We talked about the responsibilities of a chairperson and learned a lot of useful expressions. So, can you be a brilliant chairperson? Next time, we will focus on the Q&A session. See you!